Today I'm working on a cat named Bertie, who is a gorgeous Siamese. And first we're going to sketch him out. I think I made this snoot too big in my guesstimate here. That's okay. We'll put his head down here instead, like that. Yes. And the eyes are actually right there. And he's got a squinty-eyed expression. I'm not so sure. I like how the one eye is smaller than the other, but it's okay for now. Just the starting sketch. Map out where his Siamese-ness is. I think I actually need to make this come out more. Sorry, still got that cough that I've been battling. There we go, that's a nice starting sketch. Let's give a few of the keeper details a polishing outline. I guess I've never shown you what I use for outlining. I use a Sharpie pen, a fine tip. So his nose is actually kind of heart-shaped. Like that at the top. Okay. Like that. There we go. And this gently connects. There we go. Okay. Now, he's got a kind of a long snoot going here. Like that. I think that helps. Okay. Like that. All right. Oh, hello. Hope you guys are enjoying what I've drawn so far. So I'm looking at, I'll show you, Bertie. I'm drawing Bertie here. I'm doing pretty good. I went for a nice bike ride today. The only problem was, thank you. I realized once I got to my destination, I went to unlock the battery from my bike because my bike is a normal bike that I've modified to be electric for it to help me go up the big hills. And I realized I left my keys at home. So I didn't have the key to unlock the battery. Thank you. And I also didn't have a key to get back into my apartment. And so then I had to ask the office, because I live in an apartment, to let me back in. And their keys don't work for the building. So thankfully a neighbor left me in. Oh, I'm so sorry that your cat got killed. It's awful to lose a pet, but man, I've never had to experience that kind of a loss. Oh, you just lost your YouTube channel? Oh no. How did that happen? Oh my gosh. I'm thankful that my neighbors are all, well, I think they're all cat people. The ones in number 4 are kind of, I've never heard of mindless self-indulgence. Is that a podcast? Oh, hi, Bertie's dad. Thank you. Can I do you a favor? I guess it depends on the favor. You're absolutely free to ask me for a favor. I can't guarantee I'll be able to do something. Oh, it's a band. Okay. I'm always up for finding new music. Hello. The Crazy X. Oh, is she a new, The Crazy X, is that a new YouTube channel? Or someone trying to start one up? Sadly, I'm not very good at names. So it's totally possible I know people and I don't even realize I know them. Because that's a problem with being a teacher too, is, um, names. Oh my gosh, names are like my kryptonite. Okay, so I like that so far. And then I'm going to give it a cursory erase. Thank you. That makes me glad that you like my art. It's something I'm very grateful that I have the gift for. Bye. Oh, try it. Answer. Oh, okay. It says, Would you rather have lobster claws for hands? My answer is I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how to type an answer. Hmm. Well, something showed up on my screen asking if would we rather have lobster claws for hands. I don't know if you guys can see that too. Hello. I would not like to have lobster claws for hands. One, because then I couldn't do art. And oh, you can see the sticker. Okay, that's good to know. I'm still learning about some of the features with going live. Um, but then I think I'd be too sorely tempted to pinch at people that drive me nuts. It'd be too tempting. Especially growing up with my brother. I already pinched him enough with my human hands. There's always somebody in the world that likes to push buttons, you know. Seems to be more and more of that these days. People trying to push each other's buttons. Alrighty. Now, next question I have for you guys. Is that sticker in the middle of the screen for you guys? Like, for me, it's right here on my screen, like right above his eyes. Is that where it is for you guys as well? Like, is that blocking your view of what I'm doing? Yep, okay, it is. So then why don't I end it then? Because I don't like it being in the middle of the view. Okay, thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. I've always kind of wondered if, yeah, I agree. It was kind of distracting for me, and I'm not even really looking at the screen. I'm more looking at my hands, and then it was kind of just a rather random, odd question asking about lobster claws. Well, yes, I think, yeah, this was my next question. I'm glad you answered already. I drug it to a trash can on my screen, and it's gone for me, so I'm glad it's gone for you as well. So now that I've gotten him sketched, I'm going to use my pointillism to add color. When did are you asking when I started doing art, period, or when did I start doing Bertie? That's in response to CatBot100. If you're asking when I started Bertie, that would be 13 minutes. When I started doing art, I kind of ended up in an art class by accident, I guess, in middle school. It was one of those where they only have like 6 electives, and you either end up in A, B, or C each semester. And I had never, up to that point, I had never like found something I was good at. Like I was good at reading, I was okay at academics, I was no good in athletics. And my brother was always good in athletics, so he shone there and he was like the favorite son, whatever. But um I didn't have anything. And then I discovered, hey, I'm actually pretty good. Let's test for Bertie's eyes. No, it's way too purple. Um I'm actually kind of good at this. And I had an art teacher, Miss Yoakum. That's a bit too vibrant. She's kind of a hippie type. She was great. That's too dark. And she really encouraged me. And so I pursued it. I think that's the purple one I already tried. Bugger. We need to find a nice blue for Bertie's eyes. Oh, that one's actually pretty good. That one I like. And so I started doing. Oh, by the way, I'm using Tombow dual brush, dual tip brushes. You just saw me using the brush tip for testing colors, but I use the fine tip for my dotting. Um, so I took art in high school, and when I was in high school, my art teacher, they always had a ton of kids in the art room. Most of them didn't. They were there because they thought it would be an easy A. Oh, bye. Thank you. Um, she realized I liked helping others, so she kind of tasked me with helping. When I got to the advanced art classes, she tasked me with teaching some of the intro to art class students. And that's when I discovered I liked teaching. So she kind of nurtured me into how to be an art teacher, gave me advice on what classes to take at the local college. Um, and it's because of my high school art teacher that I pursued a career in art education. And now I am an elementary art teacher by day. Well, not right now, though, because it's summer break, which I'm very glad for. All right. I like his eyes. Now we're going to work on his kind of chocolatey brown here. Let's test this one. This one's a dark brown, but I feel like it's not going to be black enough. Maybe if I merge this. Have I ever tried digital art? I did take a class. I was in order to become an art teacher, you kind of have to take a level 1 of everything. And it was like 15 years ago, so it wasn't much for digital art. It was a lot of using, like, what was it, Photoshop back then? To just, like, snap a picture, upload it, and then add different pictures into one picture type thing. And I did sub one time for a digital art class, and the kids actually taught me some cool things. My avatar for my school district email is actually a picture of my old cat filled with text from like a poem in pink. And since I did that 10 years ago, they have since locked down so people can't change their avatars. Like they upload it now for the new teachers to be their face. And so mine is now stuck as my cat, which I kind of like that. But no, I did learn how to use the sketchbook app with my students this semester. Oh, I love that Bertie is watching himself get drawn. Lizzie, I think Izzy did the same thing. They took a picture of her watching the screen and shared that with me. I am gonna go over it with a black, but I noticed that on your like here it's kind of like a chocolatey. It probably looks black in this lighting, but I'm using a dark brown. But I want to get sure I get some of the chocolate in there. So yeah, we use the sketchbook app with my students. My 5th graders, we learned how to make stickers. So they had to draw something on paper, trace it with a black outline, upload it on a sketchbook, make it into a digital thing, and then we printed it on sticker paper. So then they got to actually take their art home as a sticker. They got 3 stickers of their art. And that was fun. Most of the students did put in a pretty good effort. Kind of map that out. Yes, Bertie. I do believe Bertie is a Siamese. That's what he looks like to me. Um, so kind of mapping out where I'm going to put the chocolate. Now I can work until 6 p.m. and then at that time an alarm will go off on my phone that will set Katie into a tizzy because that is when she gets her pill and her dinner. Ah, yes, Bertie's responded, yes, he is a Siamese. So, with gorgeous blue eyes. I might go back and add a little bit more right around the pupil with a darker kind of blue. Because I see that in the shadowing of the photograph. And I know I'm not filling it in solid, but like I said, I'm going to go over it with almost a near black to merge the dots to make the chocolatey Siamese point on him. Then whatever I don't finish Oh, it wants to add another sticker. Like your coffee black, it says. I don't drink coffee. I actually had an addiction problem to caffeine as a teenager, so I can't, well, one, I don't like the taste of coffee, and two, I have to avoid drinks with caffeine. Addiction, I have found out recently, since then, runs heavily in my mom's side of the genetics. So my brother and I have since become accountability partners to each other for things we notice one another becoming addicted to. Before we, I mean, usually it's only things like he currently has an issue with Legos, which is not as bad for his health. I have an issue with sugar. I have to be careful with that. Oh, I'm glad. I don't, I think I've watched a few things live. Honestly, most of the live things I've had to watch are professional developments for school. And you can always tell when those people didn't thoroughly prepare or thought they could wing it. Not everybody is gifted in the skill of winging it. But I have watched a few artists do live things. Those are always fun, especially if you know them or a fan of their art. And then what I plan to do with, because I've kind of set it on Blue Sky, is I'm going to take, these are 4x6 cards of watercolor paper. What I'm hoping to do, if finances allow it, is there is a new studio place going up that is still being worked on, but it is open partially, called Clover 24 here in town. And we have another place like it called Hot Shops. Are you a Therian? I'm not sure what a Therian is. You'd have to give me more info. I might be, I do not know. Um, and it's a space that they used to be old warehouses. Clover 24 used to be a potato chip factory for Clover potato chips. So they call it Clover 24. And they're renovating the old space to be studios for artists to rent. And then during business hours, you can walk through, look at the gallery, the art on display, and you can actually go into the little studios and talk to the artists, buy their art, and meet them in person, watch them work. And they have gallery spaces that can be rented for art shows. They actually have an art show opening up this Friday, and they opened it up to anyone and everyone who wanted to offer up an artwork. And I offered up two. One of mine got accepted. One of my pointillism landscapes. It means you act like an animal and you make an animal mask and buy a tail or make a tail. I do have a furry suit. It is a black tuxedo cat. I still have to work on getting the head of the suit to fit me right. I think it's because I'm bald and I don't have hair to help cushion it. Kind of gets uncomfortable on the top of my skull. Hey, Echo. Hey, Mister. Um, my cat Echo just walked in. But yeah, I saved up many a years to get a fursuit. Um, hello. But it's always been a dream of mine ever since I attended NebraskaCon for the first time. Um, but yeah, I don't wear it too often. It's because it's hot, and like I said, I'm still having issues with getting. I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad I'm home. I was worried about getting home. I said earlier I went on a bike ride and forgot to bring my apartment keys with me, so I was locked out. Thankfully, I keep a spare key for one of the doors. There are two doors for me to get through to get home in my bike, and then my neighbor helped me get in the other door. I do have a fursuit. It is a black and white tuxedo cat. Oh, Echo has joined us. Mister. This is not his feeder. That's where his sister Kaden eats, but he's cleanup crew. So he's currently offering to janitorial service her area. She's got the good stuff, the rich kitten food. Even though she's not a kitten anymore, she has to stay on it. Hi, mister. Oh, thank you. I did actually get to wear my fursuit in one of my schools because my week is split between two different schools as an art teacher. Did a trunk or treat, and so I told them I don't really want to decorate a car because I bike to school. But I managed to piece by piece bike my fursuit to that school in the previous days. And then I stood with somebody else at their trunk in my fursuit. And some of the kids were like, that's got to be Miss Art. Who else would be a cat like that? Because they know I'm crazy about cats. But some of the kids were so baffled that there was this giant cat. Some kids were like, that's not right. And they're like, cats aren't supposed to be that big. But some of them were fascinated, and then some of them, they knew it was me. So that was fun. Denver. So is that like a fur convention in Denver, I'm assuming? Denver, Colorado? I uh I would love to go more conventions, but yes, a lot of the older students figured out who I was. A lot of I'd say 3rd grade and up. I'd say 3rd grade was 50-50. Yeah, I'd love to go to more conventions, and I know there's a big fursuit convention, but I forget its name. Um I'd love to go to Comic-Con, but traveling is expensive, and Kated requires a pill twice a day, and a lot of the boarding places won't allow her because they're like, we can pill her once a day, but we're not going to be there every 12 hours. And so then I have to like beg off family members and friends to come take shifts to feed them because otherwise she's epileptic. So if she doesn't get her pill, she's more prone to seizures, and then I'm not there to assist her and echo. Thank you. So I don't have much for the furry stuff on my channel simply because I also use my channel as a teacher. I have a lot of videos. If you scroll through, you'll see like how to do paper weaving, how to sew with a sewing needle on burlap. And I show those videos that I've made to my students so that they can see what my hand is actually doing with the fibers. And so then they see my channel. Oh, I'm going to find your channel, miss. I'm going to subscribe and watch all your stuff. So just because some parents are, sensitive and finicky about things, I do have to be mindful that if I'm also going to use this channel at work, I have to be mindful of what content I'm putting on it. Well, thank you. I do. The kids do know I have the fursuit, but they've only ever seen it as a Halloween costume. So, and that's okay. Some of my older 5th grade students, especially the girls, sometimes they'll wear ears or tails. And so with them, I'll have like gentle conversations about what it's like to be in a fursuit and give them tips like, take breaks, stay hydrated, things like that. So they know a bit more, but especially with the littles. Yes. So I actually did 2 different trunk or treats and actually on Halloween day. So I got to wear my fursuit 3 times in the span of a week. Um, if I go to the fall convention, I'll wear it, but it is too hot and humid in the summers here for me to even attempt to wear it. Though if I am doing a VBS and if they have an animal themed, like a go wild day, sometimes I'll wear the paws on my hands and feet. And that's maybe ears on my head. And that Some of the adults give me weird looks, but the kids think it's so funny, especially if I meow at them. They're like, "Aren't you the recess person?" Yep, but I'm also a cat today. Meow. And they're like, "Oh, okay." Okay. So there's that. We can't use True Black. I suppose I should do his nose too while I'm at it. Echo, you have 29 minutes till dinner. I don't know if you guys could hear his purrt. I'm having an issue with the tail because I feel like the tail just doesn't. Where the tail hole is located on my body versus where um the length of the tail. My tail and I are having issues. So sometimes I don't even wear the tail. Bertie, you're not Chinese, sorry, chocolatey Siamese point is, I just feel like I need to get a longer tail. Because if, you tie it around your waist, but then the tail hole where the tail comes out is too low, in my opinion, so that, yeah, I think I need to go buy one in person. I've been shopping on Etsy a lot, but I think I need to go to a fur con or a vendor at a convention and get like fitted for a tail. That put on the special ends. Oh, yeah, no, I don't even want to talk about that. Yeah, those, I mean, to each their own. That's not a category I am into, though. I do think the ears that are like that move and the tails that move and wag, those are kind of the electronic ones. Those are kind of cool, but those are expensive. But yeah, the plan for today is to work on this until 6, and then I'm going to feed the kids, take a quick shower, and head to bed because I'm now getting up at 4, and my goal is to, by 5:30-ish, have the kids fed and pilled real quick and head out and do like a 2-mile run, 1 or 2 mile walk. Now that I'm over the end of the year cold, I just have a lingering cough, but I think I'll be able to handle a short run and walk tomorrow since I biked today. Yeah, I've heard that some of those ears are supposed to like read the moods of the person wearing them and reflect, but it seems like to me they just kind of move and flicker on a loop. So I don't know exactly how accurate that all is. Okay, I am happy with that. And now we need to do the shadows because right now it all just kind of looks the same. So we'll add that there. Like the pattern. Oh yes, I've been told that too before that. I actually watched. There was a video about like why those look the way they are historically. Like why was that created as a thing, and I remember being fascinated by it, but I don't remember exactly why now. Um, but pointillism is considered to have been like invented as an technique by the artist George Seurat, and I believe it was shortly after the Impressionism, thank you, era that it became kind of a thing. That was his time period. So it's not school year right now, so don't ask me to do too much art history. Some of it's stuck in the top of my head no matter what I do, but it's not just drawing I teach to the kids. There's a lot of art history involved. Oh, but I don't know if I ever finished telling you guys about Clover 24 and the whole point of that. I'm hoping to rent a gallery space and do like the cats of social media art show. Maybe have a few landscapes. Landscapes tend to take me a bit longer to do. I don't know why. Okay. Like I said, I'll be here till 6 o'clock latest. But have a good night. Because then I have to keep Katie on her pill schedule. Between 5:30 and 6 each night, she has to have her, and AM and PM. She has to have her pill and her, well, I guess, I don't think she has to have food with the pill, but I just think I prefer to take food with pills if it's so. Okay. I'm wondering if this blue, yeah, I think this blue is the one I kind of want to add a little bit around the eyes. And then go back with the other blue we were using and kind of blend that in. Oh, that's nice. Really rich Siamese eyes now. It says on my thing that there are 3 people watching. I think you, I know Bertie's watching. Let's see, we need to figure out now. I think this gray will be the one that'll be for the inside of the ears. Let's see. Yes. And then once we do that, we'll start working on the tanny color. Which I think for that one, we're going to end up using Katie's favorite, because this is the only one of my whole one she chews on. She's a chomper, that gal. And I think he's technically laying on something. Maybe. Maybe he's leaning up against something. Bertie, what were you doing? Were you laying flat or were you leaning up like against a wall? Because it kind of looks like there's a bed underneath you, a blanket. Because in the photograph you're vertical, but I'm assuming in real life you were horizontal when this photograph was taken. And then I don't obviously think I'm going to get this finished tonight before my 6 o'clock deadline. So the finished result will be posted on my social media. I'll probably maybe after my run and walk, I'll work on it tomorrow morning while I cool off and drink a protein shake, smoothie, and then it should be done. I also have to redo the number one I've been tasked with doing. You guys saw on my social media cards, number cards. My brother says he doesn't like the swoosh on that number one. So I have to redo the number one. They also said no hidden cats behind the numbers, which poo on that. They want to keep it a classy affair. Okay, let's see. Shadowing for the ears. Down here. And then a little bit right here. And kind of a curve with a little curve here. And then up along here. Okay, that ear is done. Now we're going to do this here. I'm surprised Katie hasn't come in here at all. Actually, now that I think of it, I haven't seen her in a while. Because it is close to dinner time and I'm in the kitchen. So now that's actually making me wonder, where is she? See if I call her. Katie! Katie Pillar! She has to be in here. I haven't opened any doors. I haven't gotten in any closets. I'm surprised she hasn't come. Katie! She might be asleep on my bed. I might, right at the end, if she doesn't show up, walk to my bedroom with you guys. And I think she's excited because I've stripped the sheets off the bed. So she's either excited to lay on just the mattress cover, or she's nesting in the pile of clean sheets I threw on the bed, prepping them with her fur. Yeah, because it was Echo that came up on the table today. Echo is not usually the one that comes up on the table to visit during when I'm doing this. It's usually Katie. It's interesting that some of you have crowns, these purple ovals with crowns and numbers like 1, 2s, and 3s, next to your name in the chat. Does anybody know what those mean? Can you guys see those, or is it just something I can see? Oh, no, that's Echo. Echo, where's your sister? Oh, he says, who cares? He yawns. Now, I know if I open the cookie jar, I bet she'd come. It said XP. Like experience points? Or, what else could XP stand for? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, and I bet the person that was chatting with me a whole bunch about the fursuits, because they made a bunch of comments, maybe they got the number one spot. I guess that makes sense. The more you engage. Okay. Well, I learn something new every time I do. Last time I did a stream at the end, I played with the special effects. Who was I doing? Izzy? Or was I doing Flower? And I like did the water effect and stuff. Um, it's kind of interesting. It's no point in me having the effects going while I'm working though. All right, so ears are done. Put that one away. We're gonna put this one away. This one away. Some of these I don't need tomorrow. Now before we do the tan, I just want to make sure. Pretty sure I know what this one. Yes. That matches the tan I want. Let's get rid of, because this graphite will get trapped under the ink of the marker, and then I won't be able to erase it, and it'll be there forever, and I hate when that happens. All right, a little bit more right here. There we go. Okay. So let's start with right here. You've got some slightly darker, kind of blends with the chocolate here. I'm gonna have to play with how to fire alarm where I am. Good grief. Oh no! Go grab Bertie. That's something I dread if the fire alarm goes off. Like grabbing both cats. Like, do I grab them or do I just open up the patio door and let them go? I think Echo would just. Echo I could let out, and I think he could survive on his own outside hunting. Kated, I would have to grab and keep a hold of. Like, I'd hate to have to choose between my children. But Kated being blind and epileptic, I'd have to keep a hold of her. There's no way she could survive in the wild. She'd just end up getting, like, hit by a car or something. Whereas Echo, he can see. As long as he doesn't eat dry kibble food, he won't develop the crystals. He shouldn't. So, yeah, if I could grab them both, I absolutely would. But I know if I opened up the door, and with Echo having a tile tracker on him, I could be able to possibly track him and recatch him. And who knows, he might actually come and stick by me to protect. He's very protective of me and Kay did. So he might actually stick by us or circle back if I called to him. But then if there's like the fire truck and all the noise and all the people, I could see him being standoffish. I don't know. I really hope, knock on wood, I don't have to find out. Oh, you're at the mall. Oh, okay. Man, I miss malls. Like, I know they still exist, but they're not what they were when I was a kid. There's one that's semi-functional over kind of near it. I could probably ride my bike to it from one of my schools. Um, the other mall has become a place for churches and gyms and old people walking laps. Sometimes I walk with them. Um, but I remember when that mall that was functioning, it's still semi-functioning, it had a cookie place. And they had like a death by chocolate. It was a chocolate cookie with chocolate frosting with chocolate fudge inside and chocolate chunks. A quadruple chocolate cookie. Oh, I would beg my mom every time for that cookie. And they were big cookies too. I don't know what the name of the company was, but it wasn't Eileen's. I'm not a fan of the Eileen's cookies. It's just their frosting. There's something not right about it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the lighter brown is really kind of, before he was kind of, I'm really liking how I did the eyes. Um, with that blending of the triple blues. But then I noticed where his chocolate Siamese point meets his tan, there's a bit of a gentle blending. It's not so stark with the lines. So I am going to have to, that's something I'll probably do in the morning on a test paper, is experiment with what colors I've got, how I can blend it and make a transition, kind of like I have a transition in the eyes. Because, like, I like this, but I want it to blend like his fur actually does. Because especially it's right here on the edges around his eyes, it blends the most. And I want that look. I might change the colors of the blankets in his background. Um, oh, thank you. I try. It depends on probably what student you ask. There are always some that, I wish I was in PE. I kind of wish you were in PE too. But for 50 minutes once a week, we have to coexist in the same room because the principal and the district say so. So let's just get through this. I had one student at the end of the year. She started off the year really awesome, and then she got really like, I'm a teenager, and oh my gosh. And at the end of the year, she came up to me and she's like, Miss Art, sometimes you made me really mad, but you're one of the cool ones. I told her, sometimes you made me really mad too, but you're a really good artist. Keep doing art in middle school. And then we hugged. And then she went off to her graduation ceremony. Private test prep company. Oh, I've never done a private or charter schools. There are, I think, 4 districts kind of in the bubble around here. One's humongous. It is the largest district in the state. And then the other 3 are moderate. They're not tiny, but they're not giant. It's like mine is. And the other 3 don't really have an elementary art program. And they only get art like once every 10 days. It's mostly art on a cart. You push into the classroom. It's just kind of a crafty time to give the teacher plan time, whatever. It's not really fine art, which is why a lot of when their middle and high school students start taking art and start competing, my district's kids at that age whoop their butts because they've been doing fine art um, since they were in kindergarten. Like we start learning, I mean, kindergarten's a lot of how to art, line, color, shape, pattern, texture, repeat, hot, cold, primary, secondary, all the lines, all the patterns, all the textures, Van Gogh, Starry Night, George O'Keeffe with her flowers and radiator building, Hokusai with the Great Wave, learning about the Firebird. Um, and then by first grade, they're building settings, adding characters. Stick people are naked people, I tell them. So no classic stick figures, because we don't draw naked people in our art. Oh my. Adding details, filling their paper. So yeah, and there's a lot of art history I teach. So they are getting proper fine art and skill building and art history from kindergarten, whereas the other districts don't get it. So I really kind of am stuck as an art teacher with just the one district for a job if I want a really good job. Because my kids get me once a week, twice in every in the 10-day cycles. So our schools are on 10-day cycles. Um, so if they see me on day 2, they'll see me on day 7, etc. And for 50 minutes, sometimes I kind of wish I saw them more. Sometimes I wish I saw them less. Depends on the child. Depends on the grade level. And yeah, there's a lot. I also don't do pretend art. Like we do the styrofoam printmaking in fourth grade, but then in fifth grade, I hand them a linoleum carving blade and a block of linoleum. I said, "All right, here's how you don't cut yourself to bleed out. Now go." Yeah, I agree. But they also have to see, so in a 10-day cycle, they see twice, two arts, two PEs, two libraries, um, music, PE, art, library, and then on the other day they get tech and guidance. One day they get tech, one day they get guidance. So guidance and tech only see them, depends on the school. Some schools tech sees them twice in a 10-day cycle. Some schools it's one time it's tech and then the other time it's guidance. Guidance is only ever once every 10 days because they do a lot of one-on-one appointments and um, dealing with spicy children and small groups, resolving conflicts. So I can see why they don't. But yeah, sometimes I wish I got to see them more than twice. But I really wish I got to see third grade and up 3 times because by then they're doing projects that it takes us 3 to 6 meetings. Echo just potted, so he has zoomies. That's why you hear his color jangling. Um, to get a project done. So if I saw them one more time, that would be fabulous. But with K2, kindergarten doesn't need to see me more. First grade doesn't either. Second grade, honestly, it depends on the second graders. Last year, I would have said, absolutely, I want to see them again. This year, I mean, maybe seeing them me more often would have been better for them remembering. This year's second graders, this year's second graders, they were a very immature group with no inside voice. They talk like this all the time. They yelled all the time. They all yell all the time, and that's their inside voice. And they never stop talking or producing some kind of sound with their body. I think they're gonna die. And they've been like they made some progress last year as first graders, but then as second graders, I'm expecting them to mature and they are not maturing or they're not maturing very fast. A lot of them still seem like they're 5 and in kindergarten. Like some of my kindergartners are most of my kindergartners by the end of the year were way more mature and responsible with the art supplies than my current second graders. And yeah, and it's not just my 2 schools because it was both of my schools. And I talked to a lot of the other art teachers during meetings, and they're like, "Oh, don't get me started on second grade." Um, so I don't know, there's something in the water when that group was born, cause criminy. They're just they're really good at art. They can listen. They're very smart and pay attention when they actually pay attention. They can really absorb a lot of knowledge. It's just they're very immature. It's like teaching second grade curriculum to kindergartners. Yeah, second grade, they're still considered in the was it primary ring because there's a K1, a 2, 3, and a 4 or 5 hallway in my schools. And second grade, like they're not big kids because I consider third grade to be the start of the big kids. But at second grade, they're not really littles. Like K1, those are the littles. So they're not littles, they're not bigs. It's kind of like a middle school in elementary phase of life. Um, they're that awkward, not littles, not bigs yet, and